Welcome to the two.
Sandals and shorts, and surf, and scuba, and sand, and sailing, and soccer. San Diego, California.
Evening greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 243. Welcome to everybody who is joining us here on a Monday. We have some soccer in San Diego to talk about because last week was double booked on a Wednesday. We had the San Diego Wave and CONCACAF action winning in comeback fashion against the Portland Thorns. You and Abe were there. We're going to talk about that game along with their performance against, let's say, Chicago Red Stars that let them do whatever they want except score. But also on that last Wednesday was Mikey Varas and as new head coach and Tyler Heaps meeting the supporter groups in a meeting. Yeah. We also met him day before. We're going to get into whether this is a good hire, where this San Diego FC is really seeing itself into fitting into the MLS or not fitting. Is this going to work? People have their thoughts on this Mikey Varas hire. Welcome everybody who is on Instagram, on YouTube, on X, Twitter, and soon back on Twitch. I gotta rename this channel on Twitch, not San Diego Soccer's 2.
Yeah. Good times.
Good times. Shiva. We are a couple of subscribers away from 1,000. So if you haven't subscribed yet on our YouTube, that would help a lot. 14 away, I think, last time I checked. So that's really cool. We're gonna talk about both gaffes and greats as well. Gave Santi Muñiz a rating. Drew and Cesar H. Football, Cesar Hernandez.
Deportivo Movie Club.
Club Deportivo Movie Club. New episode dropped last Friday. People are very excited about that. We're going to get into all of it this coming today. This coming today. Very, very transparent here. So this isn't meant to be a complaint. This isn't meant to be a plea for help. This isn't supposed to be a woe is I. Existing and staying awake today has been nothing more of a fever dream for both of us.
Yeah.
Season greetings to everybody who is joining us here on a Monday. It is the first day of camp where you work. Where you work.
Yep.
And the heavenscape that I work in, but also just having programs just go for insight. That's as much as I care to really say, but you've been up for a while.
You have to.
Yeah. Day one.
Especially first days of programming, so as you say, Tony and I have worked an 11 to 12 hour shift today.
Esteban corrected it. Like, nope, 19 away. Don't you forget it. Not 14, away. 19. Thank you. Make a fake account. But yeah, it's been a while.
Yes. So bear with us in this episode as we're going to try our best to stay awake.
Now we'll be fine because there's a lot of San Diego soccer to talk about.
There is a lot.
And that was faced with a choice. We were faced with a choice this last Wednesday because Tyler Heaps, along with his new buddy and pal, just like a very cool, hip duo that's going to conquer the MLS here in San Diego, through San Diego, with Tyler Heaps and Mikey Varas, which, by the way, we found out, not Mickey. No le digas Mickey.
Don't call him Mickey.
There was an approach by a fellow compañero journalist It's like, hey, Mickey. And he was like, and Mikey was very like, oh, no.
Mikey.
It's Mikey. And then doubled down and like, no es Mickey. No.
Yeah.
Got it.
Even in Spanish, it's not Mickey.
Absolutely. So we'll get into all of that in San Diego FC.
You said you were going. We were left with the choice for that Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, we were left with the choice because again,
I kind of made that choice.
There was a supporters group. Why did you make it for me?
Because I told you. I mean, I think I was trying to get you to go to the Wave game, but then also like with the go to this supporters event.
I saw a lot of people with like a lot of people that we know have been at this grind in trying to build a club again from the ground up here in San Diego. It's weird. This is the third club that we see, fourth club if you really count 1904 / Albion kind of revamp. Like we've seen the construction and deconstruction of a lot of different soccer clubs here in San Diego at various levels, and they're all been unique, different, and it's been a learning experience throughout. But San Diego Wave, having the graces of Abraham Cepeda and yourself, let's go ahead and talk about this Wednesday because again, this is the team that is currently playing at Snapdragon along with a couple of San Diego State soccer events. Once this happened this last weekend as well. Good buddy Esteban saw him out there, but let's bring on El Win. Abraham.
He's like ready.
No, did you see what he did? He was very attentive and ready. Hopefully not a very important phone call that we just hastily interrupted. And I hope there was a bed next to where you absolutely tossed that telephone. He's like yeeted that. Like, yep.
Yes, Tony knows my every move and did see that. And yes, I did get a phone call. It wasn't that important. I just heard my name in the other room and was like, I need to make sure this is important. So that way, because I had a feeling like I heard my name, they're about to come barge in here, ask me something. So I just called to make sure it was not that bad. But we figured it out. And I'm very excited to talk about these Wave matches. It was entertaining to say the least.
Wednesday, Abe, you and I both ended up going to Snapdragon for this Women's Champions Cup CONCACAF tournament that NWSL teams and Liga MX and just CONCACAF women's soccer teams are participating in. This was a second game that Wave had in this group stage. They did win the first one against Santa Fe. So this was an important game against Portland Thorns, especially with the San Diego Wave team that's as I just see an old picture of me on Tony's computer. He likes just having pictures of me, apparently. But this is an important game because this could be the tournament that makes or break their season. So this is going to be a big game, right, Abe?
Yes, definitely a big game. Not the biggest game attendance-wise, as I see people already questioning. No, it was – they blocked off, I'd say, about a third of the lower bowl, and even then it wasn't full. It was a Wednesday week game. I don't think it was marketed very well. Some people say it was on – behalf of CONCACAF that the marketing was, but I mean, sometimes you have games like this, but the Wave still performed like there was 20,000 people in there because that was quite the match.
It definitely was. And I mean, that's like right on the money where CONCACAF was the one advertising for these games and there was not a lot of advertising for this game in general. So yes, it's a Wednesday game. You could also say, oh wow, first home game since Alex Morgan's retirement. And that's the attendance. You went from 26,000 to the previous game to now maybe under 3,000. Mm-hmm. So it's not the best look, right? So that alone, if you don't win this game, that could just be like a double negative to you.
And that was always going to be the question that I had, right? Because we had been hearing through our avenues of just an idea of how many people were actually going to be at the San Diego Wave match. And it was going to be a Portland Thorns light perhaps as well. Like it wasn't going to be the star power that this match is coming out to be. The marketing came out for the San Diego Wave Thorns upcoming match. And that one's actually marketed as come see gold medalist versus gold medalist. Naomi Gurma battles everybody. Que se le ponga, canijo. But at the end of the day, that's just NWSL. That's just homegrown marketing. But yeah, even then, I don't think that didn't think 8,000 people were going to show up for the event that I went to over in downtown with the supporter / public event SDFC brought. So where was everybody? I don't know. It's difficult on a Wednesday. I do have an answer for that. Some people, and please correct me if this is wrong. Somebody with more insight, but this game was not included on season tickets.
It was not,
and so that's huge because, I mean, to talk about the strength of the season ticket for San Diego Wave, right? Like if it's not included, just people aren't gonna go. They're not gonna go out of their way, but they're invested in the long term.
Yeah.
To see, Alex Morgan.
I think we know someone that said they showed up to the Wave game and just apparently didn't have a ticket because it wasn't included. So they went to the SDFC supporters event.
Yeah.
Just still make it a soccer day, right? But yeah, so Wave coming to this game just with low attendance and a lot riding on it. Just the lineup that Landon Donovan gave us for this.
It was like, hey Chiva,
Yeah,
hey,
he sent
you're
it
like
to me.
the 3 people that I know here.
It was a strong one. It was Pearl Moroni's first start with the team, so that was a big thing to have. And then you have Naomi Girma and McNabb sharing the center back position, and Hannah Lunsvig at the right back. You have again Van Ekman and Colaprico starting again together at center mid. Then you have Cascarino, Maria Sanchez on the wings, Mel B at the 10, and then Amir Ali up on top. So essentially, it's a very, very strong lineup. Abe?
Yeah, I think this lineup was about as. Is this a point where we can say this is the best lineup? Like without Alex Morgan, I think I would, just because they're
it's just depending what type of form Jaden Shaw is and like fitness wise.
Yeah,
I basically improved with Mel B out and Jaden Shaw in the team.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Other than Jaden Shaw, I think this is their best opportunity, and they showed it when they started in this first half. They were playing very well. The possession was in their favor, other than a few counterattacking opportunities, which I guess this team opens itself up to now. They looked really good.
Yeah, no, the getting counterattacked is going to be an issue, and that's Landon shared that in the press conference where the way they play, like the biggest weakness could be counterattacking, so that's why they got to defend properly. I just want to add this one thing to the lineup, but to make it the best lineup, I think if you just have a healthy Colaprico that can play at the 6 and a solid 6 position, just staying there, you can add Mackenzie Doniak to that center mid line because she's been doing it great, and I think she's just a better weapon to have like freely in the midfield rather than Van Ekman at the moment.
Yeah, I completely agree. And if we're ready to talk about just how the Wave came back after, like, let's start and say how they went down. Those counterattacking opportunities, things happen. I think it was kind of expected, and then somehow Chiva is a genius and said everything right. Did you forget about this, Chiva?
I did. I did not tell you this, Tony. Okay,
what happened?
Wave goes down. Sophia Smith scores in the first half, and
look, there she goes.
Yeah, there she goes. And first half ends 1-0 for Sophia Smith, and Portland Thorns up. Second half starts. Sophia Smith gets subbed off, and we're like, "That's weird. Why would you do that? You're that confident that you're already gonna win this game? Okay, cool. Because I mean, you're taking out your best player.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, saving minutes, midweek game, tournament. You still have a game on the weekend. They have that substitution, and then in the 54th minute, there's another goal for Portland.
Yeah, and it was the person that subbed on for Sophia Smith too, coupled with Olivia Moultrie, who also subbed on to make that pass. And it's just it feels like the Wave are just kind
Here
of
it goes.
Yeah, here it goes. Same game as always. Head's gonna go down. We're not gonna really see much on offense. Not gonna be able to finish.
With this goal in particular, with VAR, this would have been disallowed. Because I do think Landon was right, and he said on the press conference that that throw-in that they started the counterattack with should have been a ball for Wave. And they kind of wasted a couple seconds arguing, Tony, and they did the throw-in really quickly, and that's why that counterattack happened.
That's incredible soccer IQ right there, just being upset, not because VAR didn't call it out, or this just like, no, that throw-in should never have happened to
Because
begin with.
when you get the throw in, you're like, no, ref, what? And then they took advantage. And in Spanish, we call that los amanecieron, no?
Yeah, no, yeah, you got to take it. It's not heads up ball, essentially. It's heads up ball, not heads up defending.
Dormidos.
Yeah, amenazados. Amenazados. Me los voy a amenazar.
But yeah, so then in the 67 minute, a penalty call goes for San Diego.
Mackenzie Doniak earns a penalty call just inside of the. I don't know. It's still a little close on first viewing. I thought it was outside the box, but
Again, where VAR could have definitely played a role in.
Look, it's CONCACAF, bro. Like I'm sure that they try their best, but it's still CONCACAF refs. Like let's not
here.
forget. Ooh.
So that to me, that's inside the box.
Ooh.
To me, it's inside.
That's the goal. Yeah. 2-0. Wave down. Oh no. Oh.
like, look, she starts outside a little bit.
She's already fouled there. She's already fouled there. That's already a foul. So yeah, no, that's not inside the box. But you know what? You still have to make the goal. She got destroyed.
Yeah. So Maria Sanchez
steps up,
sinks it. Goalkeeper guesses it.
Good guess by the goalkeeper. That was close.
That was very close.
That penalty was just perfectly executed.
Oof.
When it touches side net first, that's when you know, like, that's a great penalty.
That's my favorite penalty. I will never talk smack about a penalty that hits side net.
You know how she shot that penalty? Like Ramoncito Morales.
Dang. He said, take that, Landon.
Bottom right.
Take that, Landon. My family didn't like you coming up. And just out of anger and spite, I think her level's coming up. Because she's like, her family's probably giving her shit back in Idaho. Like, ¿estás jugando para London, mija? ¿Qué estás haciendo jugando para London Donovan?
So this is where it gets interesting.
Él nos eliminó en el 2002.
Tony, this is where it gets interesting because Wave score, the hundreds of people that are going wild. We get some bubbles up in our area. We're like, hell yeah.
The Sirens will be back next week, by the 100%. Way. I call the Sirens back next week.
I tell Abe, wow, Wave are going to win this game.
He tells me and Johnny.
Watch, Abe, Johnny. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and when I come back, it's going to be 2-2. I go to the bathroom.
Hold on.
Yeah.
For 2 goals to be scored, just make sure you eat fiber next time. Just don't take that long, bro. 2 goals worth of, okay.
No, I saw the first one.
Oh, okay.
After the penalty, I told Abe, look, man, I'm going to go to the bathroom. When I come back, it's gonna be 2-2.
Poor guy's just like, why are you telling me? Okay,
yeah, no,
go.
Yeah, I'm like writing, trying to figure.
I hear, and I'm smiling, and I'm like, Wave just fucking scored a goal. Legit, that's what happened, and I was like, Wave just fucking scored a goal. Wow. I'm gonna go back and Abe and Johnny and be like, what the fuck? And that's exactly what happened.
Oh my goodness.
I come back. I told him, what did I tell you guys?
Oh, my goodness.
What did I tell you guys?
That is insane.
And then in the 85th minute, where everything is just kind of coming to a close.
Yeah, like right now you're thinking 2-2. Oh, my God. Wait.
Maria Sanchez
Thank goodness. Thank goodness Maria Sanchez exists. Thank you for this brace. Thank you for this brace. Thank you for embracing us.
Handball happens, and the ref calls a second penalty for San Diego. That's a handball. I don't care what anyone says.
That's a celebration of the second goal. A ver.
That's a handball.
I don't know if that's in the box, Abe. No.
That's a clear handball. That's the one the ref got right. And who steps up for the hat trick? Maria Sanchez.
Maria.
Same side. That's cold-blooded. Same side, not changing it.
Goalkeeper knew too, and I'll tell you how. She's like, I no way. 2, like this is what goes through a goalkeeper's mind. 2, no way. Like I dare you to put it in the same spot. I challenge you. And then like right there, she already knows.
She's like,
it
was at this moment
it's
she
like,
realized.
All right, you did, because like she keeps looking at it. She never loses sight of it. That is the longest millisecond of a goalkeeper's existence. Like, like honestly,
At this
you know,
point right here, you're like, I was failure. I messed up.
at that point, you're just diving because you just commit to the dive. There's no
Yes.
reason for you to dive. I'm sorry. She dives forward. Anyway, goal, Maria Sanchez, hat trick. If
Hundreds of fans go crazy.
if Penalix got a Ballon d'Or nomination off of 7 penalties, Maria Sanchez is well on her way. Congratulations for her Ballon d'Or nomination, and she'll probably get more votes than Naomi Girma ever
this
did,
was
which
definitely the most
dumb.
exciting and the best game I
That's
think
crazy.
so far at Snapdragon for San Diego Wave.
That is great.
I
That is-
disagree. Like this season, sure, but not the best in its whole history.
I think it is.
That is fantastic.
I think it's exciting. It was exhilarating. It was a great performance overall. A great story. A comeback win on the CONCACAF, the first ever women's CONCACAF Champions Cup match at Snapdragon, Abe. So to me, this was the best Wave game at Snapdragon.
That's bold. I mean,
Hundreds of fans, not thousands. Okay, maybe
It was thousands.
2,000.
Yeah, probably closer to that. Not hundreds, but it was still
Hundreds.
not a lot of people.
Not
But
like exaggerating. We had the press conference after, so this was very different. Normally at NWSL matches, we just get the post game conference with Landon, and then we get 2 players for media availability after. This was different. This was run through CONCACAF. We get press conference, we get the Portland manager, then we get home team, so Landon Donovan, and then we got a mix zone after with players.
Heck yeah, mix zone being where the players pass by behind the sponsorships and like hey, and you stop by. I mean, look, I feel bad for us because like we're just there and you know I'm taking advantage of it, but there's at some point like what is there to ask of Landon Donovan in this position?
I'm sorry, wait, don't you disagree with Abe?
Oh, hey, I wouldn't
And
dare.
Abe, what game do you put over?
Oh
this
yeah,
one, Abe?
yeah.
the opening game against Angel City, the playoff win over Chicago. I think that opening game versus Angel City just had so much history behind it because of it being one of the biggest women's sporting events at the time for a club team. And then that penalty save by Caitlin Sheridan. Like, penalty saves are so much better than making a penalty kick. Honestly, when you see a goalkeeper make a penalty save, that's like the best.
Wasn't that a tight game though?
It was a 1-0 game. It was tight, but it was. I thought it was an intense atmosphere. There's 34,000 people in the stadium at the time.
All right, best comeback win in San Diego Wave history.
I think so. I think that's actually true.
That's
Let
right.
me
That's-
look into that.
That's yeah.
It might be one of the only ones, but
yeah, because for San Diego Wave game, especially this season, it's either they win or they just
it is
don't.
a good question by Dan, letting us know they try to keep it loud. Question for y'all: do y'all make noise during your teams taking a penalty or be quiet? I say be quiet. I say keep it down. Let the player concentrate.
See, this is weird, right? Because look, there. What was it? Please let me remember in this episode. There was something that took me into like that mentality of like people were like, "Oh no," or like, "Yeah." But then I was just stuck there like, "Pobre portero, poor goalkeeper." Like nobody thinks of them in this moment, and that's one of them where I'm like, "Okay,
Well,
what do you mean? Am I the goalkeeper?" Like it's a penalty because a penalty for me and my team goes both ways. Right? So if
not to sidetrack, but like saying that nobody pays attention to the goalkeeper. Actually,
you're muted. You're disregarded. You are. Look, I use torrential
gonna
tribute.
I was-
You're
please,
gone.
turn. I was gonna make a reference to Club Deportivo Football Club. That's their first episode is up on our YouTube channel, by the way.
Check it
Cesar
out.
Hernandez
Excellent
and
stuff.
Drews, making the first episode of Club Deportivo Movie Club, a
Agreed.
podcast where they break down soccer movies
Yeah.
and talk about the tactics. and just overall
the
movie
tactics
reviews.
and just the movie themselves.
Yeah.
A professional film viewer.
But I was gonna talk about a scene, but it's
Yes.
from Goal 2, so I'm
Oh,
gonna have
no
to
spoilers,
wait
please.
till they
Cool.
watch Goal.
Anyways, do you make noise during your penalty taking a
Yeah, do
team?
you?
Honestly, I say be quiet. You get loud when the other team's on offense. Usually in most sports, you try and put more pressure on them to kind of make them more anxious because they hear the loud stuff. So when your team's taking a penalty, I would stay quiet.
I say it's like in football. If your kicker's kicking a field goal, you're not gonna wave shit. It's the same thing if your player's shooting a free throw in basketball. You stay quiet.
Yeah, I agree. I can be that. What I usually do is just blurt out like maybe one thing where I'm just like again, if I'm the goalkeeper, if I'm watching my goalkeeper stop a shot, I just say like, it's gonna go to the right. Like I just say something like, or like, huevos, like just like go, like just, and that's it to myself. If people around me are being loud for the team, against the team, like whatever, it's fine because I can always tune it out.
Got it.
Like I always in my mind just tune it out anyways.
And I'm sure this pro players can as well.
We didn't have until Maria started the run of, weren't sure. I mean, yeah, I mean,
And you weren't sure
that's,
because this situation never happens for
we've
Wave.
never been here. Wave has never been here.
Abe, which is why this was the most exciting win in Wave's history.
And
Damn it, like,
with
it was
that,
such a great comeback.
with that, San Diego Wave in the CONCACAF tournament are now atop the table.
Actually, sitting in second place right now.
Sitting in second
under
place.
America,
Hey, I said
goal
after the
difference.
match. I said after the match.
They're both at 6 points. America has a
Like
goal
directly
difference
after the match.
10 points. The only thing is Wave does have a game in hand. America has played 3 matches.
Mhm.
They lost 1 against Portland. The only 2 teams with 3 games is America and Santa Fe. Santa Fe has lost all 3 games. America won twice, lost 1. Wave has won both their games. Portland has 1 win, 1 loss, and then Vancouver has 1 win, 1 loss as well.
It's an interesting little tournament just kind of thrown in there. It means something because this does dictate who goes to the Club World Cup for this. You know, just looking around Tigres, Gotham, some of the names up there, Club America, Wave, CC Santa Fe, you know, kind of everybody being where everybody thought. Monterrey kind of battling it out there still with a chance.
The top 2 teams of each group advance to the semifinals. Next game for San Diego Wave in this championship is going to be next week, Tuesday, October 1st at 6:30 in Vancouver against the Whitecaps. So keep that in mind for this tournament. But then we had the post game. Landon gave a few words. Abe got corrected by the Portland manager because I think we may have gotten him a little fined. Abe,
I don't think NWSL can't. CONCACAF wouldn't really fine people. I mean, I don't think he would get fined.
I don't know. So,
But anyways, shout out to the Portland media people because we were told beforehand during that Santa Fe game we couldn't get to ask any questions over Zoom. So I kind of reached out to some of them like, oh hey, if you guys have any questions for the Portland coach, send them over. So that's where the idea for me came from to ask the coach, hey, did you think those were penalties? Did the referee talk to you? And the coach gave a very I don't want to answer that question, but let me answer the question.
Yeah.
Which I love it when coaches do that.
It was a great to be able to kind of ask those questions to the Portland manager. By the way, Portland did get to do online media availability after post match. They got to
stop narking on him, bro.
Yeah, CONCACAF's gonna get mad.
Hey, I had a Techstar Connect in Panama while I was grocery shopping in Vaughn's for lemons for this stupid 800 calorie daily diet that I've been in after a 12-hour shift that left me absolutely on the brink of chaos in my mind. But you know what? We're here for soccer in San Diego because it keeps us sane, it keeps us grounded. Abe, you have your fan club. How does that make you feel?
Cool. Shout out to Luis.
Dope. I followed up with Landon after and asking him, hey, Portland coach just said that he thinks with VAR, those penalties wouldn't count it, so you wouldn't have won this game in a way.
You're just narking on everybody. Hey, Landon.
I wanted to get a comment on that.
I heard
Yeah, 100%.
I heard.
Is that not what makes an interesting press conference? Hey, this coach just said this. What are your thoughts on that? Is that not what makes it entertaining, Abe? Am I wrong here?
You know what they should do for the future? They should have them both sit next to each other. And
Like in
just
the horse racing when fighting?
like, yeah, I guess like that is like fighting, yeah, where after the press conference they have to both stand there and kind of like throw jabs at each other, like, well, I think that was a penalty. Well, no, it wasn't a penalty. Actually, it was outside the box.
We actually may
would
be onto something.
That
Yeah.
would be a great thing.
cool.
Let me just tell you,
So
though.
cool.
Let me just tell you, the South American soccer would absolutely dominate the
Oh,
ratings. Like,
100%.
oh my god, because like
100%.
really, like you're gonna put a Boca Junior River Plate. Go managers, go please. A Serie
Oh my
A,
God, this would be
a AC
so
Milan,
entertaining.
like a San Diego Wave, Angel City, fisticuffs. I mean, there would be it would be a bloodbath.
This would be amazing. Yeah, we just came up with an amazing idea. They should do this.
So
did.
El Piojo Herrera contra el Tuca Ferretti post game.
Like, could you imagine if Casey Stoney was in these press conferences after?
Tenemos que
Em-
trabajar.
Just, Landon's too nice. He even answered the question that Chiva asked as very nicely. Like, well, I get what coach means.
He was like, those were two clear penalties. So I mean, he's like, I don't know what to even say. Boys, pen that ASAP. Yeah, like
Down,
hey FIFA.
down skis. Why would we go to FIFA, bro? We're going into. Hey, no, we'll do it.
Hey NWSL.
Collab with Exquisite Football as
Ooh.
hey, they're collabing with everybody. Yes, shout out
Yeah.
SDFC Bros. Had a little show out there talking about Mikey Varas, something we'll talk about here in a bit here. But yeah,
What an interesting
that would be
concept. That would be so cool.
I'm
That
down
would-
for that. So CONCACAF,
we
that
bring
was
it up to like just wave officials. And it's like, hey, like, how cool would this be? Make it happen.
People have actually asked about if we know or what we know and about just this global search for a coach, because I mean that's kind of been quieted throughout this freaking global search.
The
Riding
global
your-
search that landed in San Diego.
Yeah, and so does he? But he's an interim. There's that interim tag that's just happened to work. I'm gonna whenever it comes official and there's that press conference, like that's gonna be the question I ask Jill Ellis. Like, hey, Jill, you didn't have to go far across the world for this. How like did you? I mean, there's doppelgangers of names in New York now with the coach. Oh my God, she just got announced for Brooklyn. Or oh my gosh,
What are you talking about?
Juan Carlos Amaros?
no, that's not.
Oh, the Brooklyn team?
Yes,
The Brooklyn USL team? What are you talking about, Tony?
I don't know. I know what I'm talking about, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Somebody is on there. I'm gonna pull it up and shut everybody up. Yeah, how about that?
Go ahead.
Nobody said anything. Anyway, back to you, Abe.
We're getting off track here.
Yeah.
We're sending a wave. Like after we got to talk to Maria Sanchez and Naomi Girma post game in the mix zone. So I mean that was pretty cool. You know, it was very interesting. Normally in mix zones, just to paint an idea in everybody's heads, like there's so many people and it's so crowded that you barely get some questions in. You barely even get to like the players sometimes don't stop to where you're lined up, so you don't get anything. For this one, it was just Johnny Richardson, Everything San Diego.
Shout out.
Another media guy, I'm not too sure from
Shout
where.
out.
Shout out. Emor Villa,
Shout out.
myself, and Abe.
Morbilla is the guy that says goal in Spanish at
Yeah.
Snapdragon.
No va a caber ahí el balón, va a estar imposible, ¿no? ¿Qué
Really
vas a hacer
good
con
question, by the way. And Emor kind of explained it after. Let me see if I can pull it up.
ese balón?
And I
Buenas noches,
respected Emor
oficial
for
para
that
ti.
question after he explained it. And I was
sí,
like, okay, like
What was the question?
it was saying, hey, like the game ball, because you just scored a hat trick, you get to keep the game. It's not gonna fit in your bag that you brought for this game.
Yeah. He's like, where is it?
This was the bag that she brought that game. Where is that picture?
Oh, we're covering fit checks now for CONCACAF wave games. Like this
Here we
is
go.
this is the amount of in-depth coverage that we're allowed with our credentials is in-depth fit checks.
That's her bag right there. If you want to share that. Right here. Yeah, that's her bag. Not the big one. That's the cleats. The other one on her right hand.
Oh my gosh. All right. Very
That's why
observant.
Amor asked, like, hey, like, it's not gonna fit in that bag you brought. I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty clever.
Very clever. And she just laughed it off and was like, "What are you talking about, bro?" Like,
Yeah, she didn't get it. None of us got it.
I don't think she got it either. So what is this great? I love him more.
Oh, that you're singing the praises of a question that didn't even get answered. God damn it.
Yeah.
Shout out Amor. He's the boy. Check out Legion games too. Yes, Dan, Jessica Silva. Oh my God, wavelength down. Yes, that's the joke. That's what I was talking about.
Dan knows.
No, Dan is in the know.
Dan is in the know.
Sources. But yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we got to talk to Maria Sanchez and just in general with Naomi Girma, so that was pretty cool. I mean, we got to talk to the best defender in the world, Abe.
Yeah, and I think Naomi Girma kind of talked to us about momentum and how well that's been working for the Wave thus far. I mean, you get a win in Utah, and then you get this win. Like, I truly believe in momentum, and I thought that they would kind of take this into that next game and play really well. Just because when you're down 2-0 and you come back 3-2, it's hard to not feel kind of invincible. Like, oh, yeah, we went down 2-0 and we still won. That's got to be a great feeling. And then going to Chicago, they had everything on their side, but it didn't end up working out that way. But they played the exact way they wanted to play, which is pretty difficult to say.
Yeah, I mean that confidence is basically just being manifested on the offensive side, something that we haven't seen from San Diego Wave. And again, the biggest comeback that we've seen from San Diego Wave is because of that firepower. And that's the thing. You live by the system, you die by the system. There's a lot of that oh my God, there's an echo in there. That's how empty that mix zone was. But just that Landon really talks about it a lot. Like, if you watch Loyal play, if you watch Loyal, and if you're familiar with Loyal, like, okay, cool. Not everybody is clearly, because but this is exactly what it is. Like, it's high risk, high reward, high risk, high everything. But San Diego Wave kind of vibes with this at this point. Like, you're just kind of putting you're building the plane as you're flying it.
Yeah, I mean, you go back-to-back wins, and this team is a team that has not tasted victory in a while. So that you get an away win against Utah, and then you get a comeback win at home against Portland in the Champions Cup. Now you go into Chicago over the weekend. Just a few days after, on a Saturday, you go against Chicago, a team that's been performing very well in the NWSL.
Yeah, and this match was brought to you in part by Ion on NWSL Saturdays.
Like, this is a team that's fighting, like, in playoffs almost.
And again, you see some faces there that you haven't seen in a while. You see some rotation in the starting lineups as well. But then you also see a lot of familiar faces and tired legs, to be completely honest. There's a lot of miles, and I haven't really heard Landon be specific about it as he was with Loyal or as Casey was with Wave, in terms of how much travel and the jet lag and all that is coming into play. But this is just kind of a reality of being a San Diego soccer team. You're going to travel a lot. You're going to be jet lagged. This is going to be a reality of it. And so them putting out this team here is as strong as it can possibly get once again. Yeah. And it just seems like they're just going all out. Let's figure the things out. Something's going to stick. It's either going to happen in NWSL. We'll just play ourselves off in our style, the way we want to play. And this is exactly how this match went, right? You see Maya Jones in there. You see Melanie Barcena starting once again. Like, you're starting to see a continuum of players, and just you see them growing within this system that, to be, again, quite honest, is still very new. And I'm not props to Landon and not even Landon. I'm going to extend those props to the entire coaching team for San Diego Wave to be able to take a concept of what Landon is saying, to say, watch this, Loyal, and help me. These players, help me coach this to them. and just the coaching staff has been able to adapt a lot. And I don't know. I went to that training session with you, Abe, a couple weeks back with Johnny in the afternoon, and I've seen Casey Stoney trainings, and it's very European, if that makes sense. Like it's very there's different styles to really learn, but it looked completely different in terms of just the drills that are there, but it's hard to do in the middle of the season. Now going to Chicago, just that travel, you have 3 games in 7 days. Once again, you're back against the wall. As you're saying, Chicago's a really good team. They're doing great in the NWSL, especially when it comes to them scoring first. Historically, once they score, like it's pretty much over. But I mean, we'll see what we can get. Is a mentality for San Diego Wave. That's what it feels like, Abe.
Yeah, and something else about Landon's style that I just thought of while you were talking about it. The Landon would kind of sub in a lot of center backs with the Loyal, I remember. And he did that again. At first I was thinking like, oh, it's probably an injury thing with Kennedy Wesley, but with how much there's like those counter-attacking opportunities and options to just run the whole game basically, especially even for defenders. Like McNabb coming in for Wesley is probably a good decision, and then Pearl Maroney finally getting some starts, and on the left side with Maria Sanchez looked really good. If you look at the heat map for Saturday's game, it was just all on the left side, and just that left back to left wing connection was working really well, even though they weren't able to score. Like at some point, those goals are expected to come. The XG on that game, I think, was like 3 or 4, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. And even at halftime, it was being discussed how it's insane that the production that San Diego Wave had was to the level that wasn't yielding a single goal. That's sometimes incredible. And again, people are shocked. The numbers speak for themselves. But this has been the reality of San Diego Wave this whole season. They create chances. They just don't finish. And what a time to have somebody who's such a lethal finisher, like historically, and has a mindset like Donovan does, to really be like, hey, so what's going on here? And that's, you see it here early on, 12th minute, Chicago goes up. And again, historically, that's a death sentence. Chicago scores first at home. Done.
The thing with Wave right now, and this specifically with this last game and this last game on Wednesday, they kind of had something clicking where they just dominated possession in both games. I mean, you see it against Chicago, they had 64% possession, and you can tell on the field. Same thing against Portland, they had like 60+% possession. I think in the first half, they were like, wow, is it really like this half possession right now for Wave? So with that in mind, you also get the very counterattacks that can happen, especially coming from the wings, with your players playing a little more up high. And, a lot of the times where Wave are getting scored is due to that.
Yeah. And to look at that question, right, that Playback had, just like, do you go with the same lineup? Or look, this is a preseason for this coaching team, a second preseason in the middle of the tournament, the middle of the year. Yes.
I don't think you can call it preseason. They don't call it preseason anymore. Like when they started, it was preseason, but like this is what the team wants to look like and expects to look like the rest of the season. Like,
yeah. And what I'm saying with that is they're still trying to figure themselves out to have that 11, right? You talk about the beginning of a season for a team where you're just like, hey, you're trying to move into the ideal 11 that's going to carry you, and that finding out process is what's going to lead you into the playoffs, going to lead you into whatever tournament phase that you want. And it just seems like with a combination of the style of play of the NWSL games, like we saw with Chicago Red Stars, a very offensive match, a very good offensive match, creating chances. You know what? You hit the post, you hit the crossbar. Like these things happen. And sometimes they just have no explanation. But it seems like in the CONCACAF tournament, these are just scrappy wins. Like that's what I'm enjoying about it. They're scrappy CONCACAF matches that are yielding these great and sometimes not too great goals, and the reasons why it's like shenanigans, 2 penalties, Maria Sanchez hat trick.
That tackle by Naomi Guillermo was just world class.
Oh, 100%. And that's what I'm saying, right? Like, it's fine tuning this team with the players available and finding what's going to give you success. And most likely it's going to be in the CONCACAF tournament. So let's just put these two things together. The way that Wave is playing the NWSL with the scrappiness that they're getting results in with CONCACAF is going to mean that they're going to be a good team later in this tournament. They're going to go into the next round for sure. Like, it's going to happen.
I think by now, I mean, looking at the table, right? I mean, just spoilers, Wave don't win this game, and it's 1-0.
Yes, singing the praises.
Yeah, most shots they've taken all season, but
28
no win.
shots,
Incredible.
2 on target. So I mean, you can't have that and not win this game. And whether if Landon says like, hey, like, we didn't deserve to lose that game or anything like that, like, which he typically says, you have to eventually take ownership of it. And yeah, you can create the chances, but you have to eventually start scoring those chances, especially in games where you can't give up those chances because you need the goals to win, because you have to rack up every single possible point. You need 15 points. That's the max you can get in the last 5 games, 15 points. You have teams that are 10 points away from getting that. So if they get 3 wins and a tie of those last 5, then it's bye-bye Wave. Like, it can definitely happen. And I mean, it's difficult. I think by now you go all in on the CONCACAF Champions Cup, because you win that Champions Cup or you get to the final and you somehow
It's a successful season.
It's a successful season. You won silverware. It's a better season.
Double silverware season.
I would even say it's a more successful season than when they win the Shield, because you're actually winning a final.
I think that, well, first of all, the championship won't happen until 2025. I think technically this is all just the group stage. But when it's going to be difficult still. You're still going to have a semifinal and a final that you're going to have to play, and probably against either Gotham or Monterrey. Like, if you get first place, you're playing either Monterrey or Gotham. And it's going to be a tough match no matter what. And I like their chances in this because they're all in. Like, every other team kind of it has a chance to win their domestic league, but if the Wave have nothing else, then they have to try everything.
Yeah, it's go time at this point. And so just really taking a look at the season as a whole, I think that there's a pathway, right? If you're a San Diego Wave supporter, I think you really don't put your arms down and say like, oh, no, that's a season. Like, there's still hope and there's still ways to enjoy what's left of the San Diego Wave season. Again, they did not win this game. It was a 1-0 loss against Chicago. Like, that's all the action in terms of scoring. There was a lot more action for San Diego Wave. You're mentioning 28 shots. Hey, we just didn't score. Like, that was just, that's the reality. Like, that's the John Madden Barry point. Like, the team that wins is the one that scores the most. Got it. Oh. Got it.
Dope.
100%. And that's okay.
It. Is this optimistic, hopeful Tony again? Because I mean,
yes.
Literally a week and a half ago, you said, no, this is all over. I don't know what I was talking about a week before now.
Look, Pearl Maroney was not was
so we went from having a hopeful Tony,
as Shaq once said,
crash down and then just back up. Like, yes, hopeful. It can happen, guys. It's gonna happen.
This is a sound wave. Aren't all waves like this? Like, it's a wave like that goes up, down, up, down. This is how he's thinking. It was the wave
of the sound wave.
Yeah.
Tony's part of that sound wave.
It goes up and down and up and down. This is what Tony thinks. Wow. Beautiful.
Shaq once said, trying to pinpoint the sound bite here, but I'm not. Oh, I wasn't familiar with your game. I apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game, Pearl Maroney.
But yeah, San Diego Wave.
Compression waves. Look at that. Just
lost
that
against
knowledge.
Chicago, and now they play this Saturday at home against Portland Thorns, again, a team that they just came back against on Wednesday in the Champions Cup. Now they play in the NWSL. Portland, who's currently tied 2-2 against Angel City. That game can determine a lot for that future that you're optimistic and hopeful for San Diego Wave, Tony. But they're gonna have to beat this Portland Thorns team on Saturday if they want to for sure try to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's where it stands for now. San Diego Wave have the barrel is
Portland is
set.
one of those teams that you need to drop points. It's more specifically Racing Louisville and like the AFC and Angel City, but Portland could also be one of those teams.
Damn, you got corrected by Dan, bro. You are
I
not.
don't know what I was gesturing. I'm thinking of like the ones that are like on the thing, or I'm thinking of a sine wave. Is that right? A
Look,
sine.
I mean,
I haven't
Dan-
seen that
Hey,
in a
just
while.
stop talking.
Dan got. I mean, just talking about on the same wavelength. Actually, that Dan and I immediately started on the same wavelength with Jessica Silva. So, odd man out here, Mr. Cepeda. I think
yeah. All
you
right.
should stick to your Roy G bibs and
I
stuff.
think
Let's
so too. Bye,
go
Abe.
back.
I'm just kidding.
All right, so that's going to be coming up here for San Diego Wave. Exciting times. I mean, it's still
It's the end of the season
surprisingly.
and it's still exciting.
yeah,
You know?
where it has no right being as exciting as it is. And
Because
so,
you'll find out at the end of the season, like Abe said, that the Champions Cup playoffs won't happen until May of next year. But you still have that excitement of, are we gonna make that semifinal
Mhm.
and have a chance next season to just add silverware to that season, right? So it's still exciting
Mhm.
for Wave fans. I think it'll be a decent turnout on Saturday. But I do feel like this will actually also show if it's the Alex Morgan effect. If attendance is very low again, it's not in the average of what, like 12,000, which is
Mhm.
what they average, 10 to 12,000. And it's again like 5,000 fans.
Yeah.
I think that says something else then.
that'd be interesting to look at. But again, I think season ticket members are going to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
Hispanic Heritage Night too.
It is
Hispanic Heritage Night.
Last year for Hispanic Heritage Night, there was the most beautiful rendition of the national anthem by mariachi. It was very cool.
Yeah, shout out Mariachi Internacional. I completely agree. That's one of the coolest.
For all your mariachi needs.
For all your mariachi needs, hit up Mariachi Internacional.
Internacional. Dame ya.
Yummy, yeah. But yeah, so
That's what we have for San Diego.
San
Wave.
Diego Wave. That's how they promote it for this game as no, Mr. Soccer, Mr. 19, if I may call you. That is not what they called it. The official marketing says gold medalist showdown at Snapdragon Stadium, San Diego Wave, Saturday, September 28th at 7 p.m. at Snapdragon, presented by McDonald's. Join us this Saturday
I
as
said Naomi Girma, Jana Shaw also won a gold medal.
As Naomi Girma and Sophia Smith go head-to-head on the field, celebrate Latino heritage, presented by McDonald's, with us as we honor our community's vibrant culture and witness two of the best women's soccer compete. In women's soccer compete. Don't miss your chance to be part of this unforgettable night. Secure your tickets now. Plus, the first 10,000 fans inside of the gates will receive a Latin-inspired custom captain's armband that shows the club's logo and is surrounded by the colorful flair of the vibrant papel picado. Purchase tickets now.
That was impressive. Good job.
That's what they are marketing it as.
But also that might not happen because Sophia Smith was injured after the first half, and she's not playing this match against Angel City. So
Yeah, so she might not play.
So, hey, they have a poncho pack, bro. It's pretty cool. I'm a sucker for just like good products at giveaways. like minor league teams in baseball have some of the best, most ridiculous things. It's fantastic.
It is great. But with that is your San Diego Wave cover. Anything else for San Diego Wave?
I think that's it. We're gonna put Abe away here for a second. We'll
And
get
that
you
was your
goals.
San Diego Wave coverage.
Give
We
me
are
the
back
biggest
with your San Diego
what?
football. Two Balls in the Mic, episode 243. My name is Alejandro Chiva Villaseñor,
I
your
was just introducing
co-host
yourselves again.
of right here next to me, El Tony
Is it-
Sanchez.
That's just what we're doing now.
We're going to dive into our San Diego FC segment.
Oh, there's another one too.
Because
California
you
burrito.
played the wrong one.
I did play the
first
wrong one. California burrito for the first person that identifies that soundtrack. But yeah, San Diego FC with their announcement of the
Can I guess? Log into my guess. Get a Cali.
no employees shall not be employees. Damn.
It was a big week
I
for
called you my
San
boy.
Diego FC as well, Tony.
That is correct. San Diego FC, San Diego's MLS team, the 30th franchise of Soccerinos in the United States is going to kick off in February 2025, meaning that, they should probably hire somebody to be the coach since they have about 6 players on their squad now. It's the reality of things. Duran Ferry, they have Patty McNair, they have Chucky Lozano, Alex Mighton, they have Jeppe Sverskov, and Ingvarsen. Those I hope San Diego comes up with cool nicknames. Like I like that, like Chelsea had Cesar Azpilicueta, and the British people were just like, nope, he's Dave. That's his nickname. Welcome, Dave. In any case, that's the announcement that did come up while we had been privy to the information, kind of the biggest secret that was very poorly kept. I'm realizing, and just speaking with some people within the MLS, of just like, it doesn't take a lot for stuff to leak out of the MLS in terms of just like how porous compared to other soccer leagues, just in general, are. But it's good for us. But in any case, Mikey Varas is the announced head coach for San Diego FC. He was announced last week and presented to the media at Snapdragon Stadium. And there was a big, again, through San Diego.
I mean, looking at the tweet that was shared by San Diego FC, right? Introducing our first head coach in club history, Mikey Varas, led the U.S. youth national team under 20s to the 2022 CONCACAF Champions Cup, championship, qualified the U.S. for the Olympics for the first time since 2008, coach at the U.S. At the 2023 FIFA Under 20 World Cup, and then served as interim head coach recently for the men's national team. So this is a man that has most of his experience
in
the national team.
Yes, that last one though is like, I guess.
Something about San Diego just having interim managers.
Technically, yeah. Technically, you did lead. I mean, talking about the pedigree, right? Like, it was Mikey Varas and then Pochettino. I mean, I think it's a big downgrade for the U.S.
But anyway, like, this does leave the question as to, is this a great signing? As I know you're gonna pull more info on Mikey Varas that was kindly said.
Did I tell you that it's not Mickey? So don't you ever forget that. Please do
Mickey
not
Varas.
forget that.
It's
ever.
Mikey. I didn't call him Mickey.
Ever. I know it wasn't you at all, but Chilean descent. It's very apparent that they very much liked that aspect in terms of being able to connect to the people of San Diego.
I think you're thinking I keep saying Mickey because of my reference to what our segment for him is going to be called. I said Mikey Ball Clubhouse. I never said Mickey.
You did say Mikey Ball Clubhouse.
Yeah. So is this what we're going to be talking about in the future? Who knows? But we were there on Wednesday when there was a press conference to introduce Mikey Varas as the first head coach for San Diego FC. Tony, we were there in person to cover such event.
Absolutely.
What were your thoughts overall with this press conference, with the announcement of Mikey Varas? What were your thoughts overall with this?
Again, I'm taking everybody through this journey that we have of San Diego Punto Football, of 2 balls and a mic. And so that's really getting to know us here at San Diego Punto Football, Tony Sanchez, and 2 balls and a mic. I go cold just thinking about that press conference because I done goofed, just personally speaking. I need to get better at it. Again, just inside baseball. Tony 2 questions. Tony, first question.
First question, Tony.
Siempre first question, Tony. Means absolutely nothing. Any case, always instructed, always reminded. Hey,
in press conference, they tell you, please name your name, say your name, and your media outlet, and then ask your question.
Yeah.
First question, Tony goes first again.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the reputation. You know, people told him before. It's like, hey, can't wait. You get the first question.
I already
right?
went over this. Yes.
And what did you do, Tony?
I forget to say my name.
And
I
the media
forget to say
outlet.
en media Tony Sanchez. Mikey.
Tell the people why you forgot. Because you say at one point, they tell you, ask your question in English. After it will be Spanish questions.
Mhm.
But you want to make sure, Tony, that he knows that you speak Spanish.
Yeah, in case I don't get a shot at the Spanish question, it's just like whatever. Like if it's not the time, it's not the time. But just kind of make that connection and welcome him to the city of San Diego. At the end of the day, this is
what
the place I live. And I
Mikey, welcome, bienvenido.
I was making sure I translated it and didn't mess up the Spanish translation, even though there's no reason for me. I'm a very fluent speaker in both languages. So I'm just like, Mikey, bienvenido a San Diego. Question. Great answer. Great. And as soon as I said it, and I'm like, I didn't say my name.
Yeah, no, you didn't. Because then I went after you.
Did not
and
say
I said
my name.
Alejandro, San Diego Punto Football.
I didn't say my name.
Yeah.
Football. It just happens. In any case, there is a story as to why, and it has to do with Chuck Norris. If I'll let, there's literal trauma that Abraham
invite Tony for a cup of water, and then he'll tell you this story.
In any case, Mikey Varas was
Such
presented.
Water.
And look, what I'm getting, in the sense that I'm getting, just being able to listen to him speak in terms of what he wants. There's this clear unison where Tyler keeps saying like he's the guy, he's a perfect guy, he's a perfect match. The way he thinks about soccer in general, his development with the youth, is going to work with his dream. There's a very corporate wovenness to the syntax that's being used. Abraham knows about words more, so I don't know if I used that correctly, but I probably did in a way that's being spoken, right? Like it's very synergetic, very synergy. This is a flow. Like first thing what we heard,
intended.
Mikey got it down because he was like, yeah, no, the 18 cities, we have here the teams that have been here, and just like there's a flow about the city. Like, hey, okay, you got to do what you got to do, and that's a-okay. What is that going to mean in terms of the soccer, in terms of the play, in terms of the X's and O's? That's what we're interested in, right? Like that's at the end of the day, the soccer ball needs to roll. We can talk about the players. We can talk about the play style. Oh my God, they lost against Austin. How could they lost against Austin FC?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, there's 30,000 more fans of 3252 and Snapdragon. And oh my goodness, this may actually happen. Like it. Okay, let's get to that point. But for right now, these are the steps. Mikey Varas is coming in saying, hey, I have a very dynamic play style that I'm going to, he said, purposeful verticality. Did you get that? That's how San Diego FC is going to play, with purposeful verticality. If you had to think about that, Chiva.
No,
English is not your first language.
It's not.
If you had to translate that to somebody, alguien,
this is a team that's going to, on purpose, be very vertical. I'm just kidding. No,
Estúpido.
No, this is a team it's going to be adapting to a lot of different things. It's going to constantly change. It's not going to stay the same throughout every single season. Kind of like how Osorio likes to play. He changes the lineup a lot. He changes formations a lot. He does rotations. He does this. That's something that we're going to see from San Diego FC, because they're going to be kind of changing things a lot. And change happens when you play young players.
Yeah.
You end up selling them. You end up loaning them. You get cut. A new kid comes on the block.
Everybody's a new kid here.
That's how happens when you have a young age core of players, which is kind of what I think SDFC is going to eventually have.
So these are some of the words later on after the press match that we got. You and Abe were able to go ahead and have a chat with Mikey. And then we spoke with Tyler Heaps. Some of you just check out our YouTube page. Again, we're 19, that's the one. Subscribers away from 1,000. So be a friend, tell a friend, make a fake account. It's fine. Make a real account, because you're a real person. Even the fake you is real. With head coach Mikey Varas.
The MLS has a lot of new European international experience, and you have a lot of experience here in the U.S. when U.S. soccer. And working with U.S. clubs. So, what is it about the American soccer experience that you hope to bring into this club?
Yeah, what I would say about that is every environment is unique, you know. So the most important thing as a coach anywhere you go is you have to understand the culture of the people in the country that you're gonna coach in. So I think it's a massive advantage and gift that for me personally, that I grew up in the American soccer culture. I've seen how much it's grown over the years. I've coached throughout the entire pyramid of the youth game. And then also I have Latino influence. You know, the South American side of me has really been an influence, and I understand the dual national situation and how what's amazing about the United States is it's just such a melting pot. You know, it's not as boxed in of a definition in terms of culture. It's a really expansive culture, and one that makes for a really beautiful opportunity.
And San Diego, especially this binational identity with the border. How do you think that experience, as far as like the Mexican soccer player and the American soccer player, will meld when you're developing these young players?
Well, I think people do their best when they feel felt, when they felt understood, and they.
I felt understood.
Yeah. No,
Abe,
I mean,
you're
so
still there?
Abe is here.
Okay, just making sure it was the video itself. I don't know what happened
No,
with
no,
the
no.
video.
Yeah. No, so I mean, you kind of get that, right, Tony? But to go back to my question to you is, what do you actually think of this signing? Do you think this is the signing that San Diego FC needed? Do you think this is a good or a bad signing? Very in between. What are your actual like thoughts that you're like, okay, like Mikey Varas is here?
I know people are listening. I know people. This voice resonates sometimes in an office in Little Italy. It's a good signing. Mikey Varas is a good signing for San Diego FC. For San Diego FC, the definition of success is different than most MLS teams because their measure isn't so much right now. You can promise results, you can promise championship, you can promise that, and it's never going to happen. And you're still going to have a hardcore fan base like you've never seen before. And you're never going to fault anybody for being a supporter. You're never going to fault anybody for representing that team, for that city. You're not going to fault them for giving it their all, both ways. But this is a hire that's going to be about multiple things, which is what San Diego FC has always said that it wants to be. Is cutting edge innovation, chrome. Like, this is San Diego 3024, bro. Like, we're the next generation of soccer in the MLS. They have this maverick youngster in Tyler Heaps that's gonna look at analytics in soccer and break things down. Mikey Varas is this player who understands the youth, who understands U.S. soccer at a point and a degree where he has seen success and the measures of success that are vibing and really kind of worthwhile to invest in the youth with this person, because you can hide behind these results. You can hide behind Mikey Varas. You can hide behind whoever you sign. Because guess what? First year you don't get success. Oh well, we're figuring things out. Second year you don't get success in terms of like playoffs or whatever. Oh well, Mikey's is learning, he's coming into his zone, and that kind of gives a longer leash to what's possible. Where sometimes other clubs would be like, well, guess what? Season and a half, you're not doing good. Bye. Hey, I don't like the results here. You're out. Like,
Sounds
but
a lot
here,
like what happened with Casey Stoney.
you're really having a chance to say, well, we believe in the long term with Mikey. You gotta ride or die, and good. That's part of the story. It's part of everything. And that's why I say it's a good hire, because if I'm the one hiring, if I'm the person that's hiring an employee to do a certain thing, I want them to do it like I want to well. If he doesn't do it well, then bye. But I think for the scope that SDFC is kind of existing in and being this trailblazing soccer institution in this area and just in the MLS, it's a good hire. And there's things with his coaching style that you can really look at, looking at Greg Berhalter and that coaching tree. And, there's people on both sides that are, first of all, the Mexican Latino community, and this is just on a greater scale. I'm not sure was very familiar with who this is. And then the people in the know of US soccer probably didn't know who it was. Not saying it's a bad thing, but that's just kind of an incognito way of saying, well, you could have almost hired anybody. Mikey Varas is just the name of the head coach that you're going to get. History books will decide whether he was a good first manager, whether something was built here. But my honest opinion is SDFC, you hired your guy, you hired the guy you want, you hired the guy that's going to coach your style, that is going to have the less amount of pushback. It's actually going to flow and be symbiotic with the coaching style that he may have, where, okay, by the book, 75th minute. And that this is something actually that Darren Smith kind of alluded to in Wednesday's I'm going to say supporter, like it was open to the public. So anybody could have gone. Where it's like, okay, it's the 85th minute, it's 1-1. Tactically, what do you do? Tactically, the game right now dictates that Mikey Varas, need to make a substitution and take out Chucky Lozano in order to go ahead and put somebody that's going to maybe change the shape and the style of how Right to Dream says to win this game. Or do I just stick to, hey, we stuck by the Right to Dream model, and we live and just we're stubborn with how we're gonna win, we're stubborn how we're gonna lose, and that's how we're gonna see things. But again, good or bad, long answer, it's a good hire. This is the end goal isn't necessarily clear, because they are saying it's like going to a restaurant and you're like, oh, hi, how may I help you? And you just said yes. Like, what do you like, what do you want? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Eso, todo. Uno de todos. This is where I'm at, right? It's funny that you mentioned San Diego FC, how they're going to measure success, right? And to get to this question, do you see him banging the drums? Like, you were there at that event.
Yeah.
Like, you saw him
We'll
doing
talk
that.
about it here in a bit.
Okay. A lot of times expansion teams measure success by kind of like the popularity and just how successful it is, even in like the atmosphere, right? If you're selling out stadiums, if you're doing this. So I think in the sense of getting more fans, which is I think something that, yes, eventually with your play style, you could like get people to show up. But I think you still need to kind of sell yourself to the audience in San Diego as to, hey, like, support our team. And I think this was a missed opportunity to sign a coach that's already known to the public, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking about, like, obviously not Piojo Herrera, but someone like that, like of that kind of like high portfolio where portfolio, same thing, where people know who they are and they can bring in more season ticket members, more fans, anything like that. In the terms of the soccer sense, I do like the signing, Tony, because yes, I mean, I told you guys this. I've been saying it on the podcast months ago. Like, dude, San Diego is gonna hire a nobody coach that fits their style, that they like, that's internal, that whatever. And I mean, sorry, not to be rude or disrespectful towards Mikey Varas or anything, but you ask the average soccer fan, hey, Mikey Varas is the new head coach at SDFC. Who's that? Where did he coach before? This is a man that has never had a head coaching job besides the interim position at
in
the
the
men's
senior
national
role.
team.
Yeah.
He's never coached a club team as the head coach. So this is what I like about it. You're getting a guy for a brand new team that's going to try 110% because he has a name to prove for himself. He has to build that rapport. A coach has to start somewhere. And when you're starting somewhere, le vas a meter huevos. Like, you're going to try.
Yeah.
You're going to try your hardest, where if you say you get Pochettino for SDFC, well, maybe he doesn't try as hard as Mikey would, because he's already just making money and this and that. He already proved himself in other leagues around the world and whatnot. And now he's here, And so I think he's definitely going to try. And I think that's something that the San Diego FC team needs, because they're definitely trying to do things differently as an expansion team. And they've proven that so far.
Yeah, and just in terms of his coaching style, it seems like just the breakdown of his teams, even at a youth level, is kind of looking a little bit more in terms of that Right to Dream style, where like a 4-3-3, a false nine, in a way can really work to the benefit of his style in really trying something to marry it with the Right to Dream style, which is that counterattack, fast paced way of seeing things. And I think that's where Tyler Heaps and Mikey Varas really connect, where the way of just looking at the game, even remove Right to Dream, is pretty similar, where it's fast paced, go, go, go. Some center backs that can control possession. You have Patty McNair, who's good on the ball. They're still looking for a goalkeeper that's going to be good on the ball in order to be a starting goalkeeper for this 2025 year. That's definitely going to be coming over in the expansion draft area and times. I think it was said December is going to be a very high just inbox kind of month in general. So clear those oh no. Clear those calendars. Oh, Gattuso does not like SDFC.
Stop sharing.
It's fine. Gattuso was not happy with his signing. But yeah, Esteban here, agreeing with you, it's the first major gig. He'll definitely put up blood, sweat, and tears into his project, and he said that. He said he's going to put his blood, sweat, and tears into this, and I believe him. Like, again,
whether it's successful on the field or anything, that's, I mean, it's the same question for any coach that gets signed. You know, you can like the signing, you can not like, you can hate the signing. At the end of the day, this is a coach that this team has. Like, nothing's gonna change of how anyone feels about it.
I want to hear somebody say why they hate it. Like hate him, the person, him, Mikey Varas.
Yeah.
Not to say, oh, we should have gotten somebody. No, like why are you saying no to this? Because there really isn't a good reason to do that at this point. And so it's going to be a interesting concept to really go forward with. And that's it. That's who's heading this team, Mikey Varas. And so he was presented to the people of San Diego. So we're talking about that Wednesday.
You were there that Wednesday at the supporters rally event that was open to the public, right? How was it overall? I mean, I think it was a very last minute event, obviously, to bring in Mikey Varas, but it's a chance for the head coach to talk to the supporters and just the fans of San Diego FC. The event was in downtown, I believe, Tony, from 6 to 9 p.m. You were there. I know you like to get to play this early. What was your experience with this event?
Parking in San Diego downtown and public is, especially with the truck, is not conducive to a good time.
It is not.
That's why you get there at con tiempo. O sea, vas con tiempo. So this event was at the courtyard in downtown. That's court, the Q. And so, you know, it was a good opportunity just to kind of be on the pulse of where people are at with San Diego. And I think the supporters themselves are finding their footing in what the direction that they're trying to go. You know, there's that supporters union that's coming up. And then this, again, just being completely objective in what I saw and what I believe from previous experience in these sort of events in San Diego for professional teams and building a team. So what I'll start with is that if you weren't at this event, regardless if you're at the Padres, regardless if you're wherever, you missed out. You definitely missed out. It was a good opportunity. You're going to have Darren Smith make his return. I heard a lot of people were there to, you know, they were like, yeah, no, Darren's hosting. Like, we're chomping at the bit for him. Gotta be there. Don't blame him. Price of admission. But it's an opportunity of literally a lifetime. You're going to have a chance to sit in on the first ever coach and the first ever sporting director of San Diego.
Here in your city.
Of San Diego. Like at some point, Chivas had a press conference, you know, for the first coach, and this is like whatever, right? Like it's fantastical, but it's a really good opportunity. And if you weren't there, you missed that opportunity. And I think it would have been good for more people to be there to get to know Mikey and just kind of see what makes them tick. And again, a lot of the same answers and so a lot of the same cadence came across from the press conference where 18 cities, flow, California burritos. You know, there was a point where it was asked like, oh, so who does the supporters want next? And somebody said like, oh, obviously Mo Salah is being yelled. And somebody said, oh, Messi. And then I think Tyler, he was like, well, so what if something this and this and this, and we're able to, and for some reason the expansion draft in December, Miami FC doesn't protect Messi, and we're able to get Messi in San Diego. Massive boo. So
Wow.
so great, good job for those people that were there. Massive boo. Like no, absolutely not. And so
Interesting.
yeah, no, which is fine.
A larger amount of San Diego
I get
would
it.
disagree.
I
though.
100%, about
Yeah.
100%, but I like the vitriol because it was a big Mexican community and it was there.
Que son argentino.
Yeah,
Que
no.
nos mató los corazones.
What I found interesting is just a lot of the images came out from what I believe is the Dago Boys, which is part of the 1904 Outsiders. Just connect that, hey, props, stuck to it from
I heard
1904. They showed out, and
I heard.
very interesting in the way that kind of happened. And you can check out the images that they brought. They brought a camera crew, and so where I parked, it was close to Market Street, and I saw, actually, just doing soccer and supporter stuff and just being adjacent to it, you kind of get to learn the sound and just feeling of a drum. And I was just like, is that a drum? Like, why is there a drum downtown? At this point, the thing is this way, and so I mean, it's fine. It's not the best. So they started up in March through downtown, and again the Dago Boys, and I'm not going to get into much of the politicking of whatever's going down here. But this is the imagery that's kind of being used by SDFC right now. So shout out to the Dago Boys. They're clearly showing out. If it wasn't for this big contingency of people that you see walking down here, I'm not sure that outside of SDFC staff, it was the best of turnouts. And again, I will once again kind of try to understand the context and everything, right? There's a Padres game happening downtown. They're a pretty important one. There's a San Diego Wave CONCACAF match happening at the same time as Snapdragon did, with a couple thousand fans. So that's not really taken away from this. Yes, this is a last second reveal, because again, I'm not privy to these season ticket holder emails, because I'm not a season ticket holder. There was the day after this, there was a premium season ticket holder meeting at Snapdragon and a Q&A. So another great opportunity if you were there.
Maybe they didn't want a lot of people there.
Maybe they didn't, but I don't know why you wouldn't. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't.
I feel like if you did want a lot of people there, why not just wait? Why have to do it that very next day or 2 days after? Like, why not wait a week until fans kind of like get the vibe of what Mikey is and seeing more videos and promoting it more, and then just promoting that event, saying like, hey, you get a
there wasn't a lot of
chance
time
to ask.
There wasn't a lot of time. However,
or you could have done it in a week or two.
However, with
Mikey's not going anywhere.
Anybody else that is at the helm that has a little bit more name recognition, a little bit, like, again, you're not going to get Hugo Sanchez, but just somebody with the same amount of press, with the same amount of word out there, same amount of
thousands,
there would have been plenty of people. Again, we just about Piojo Herrera.
Mania had thousands of people.
You would hope that out of the thousands that went to the shell, again, that had a lot more, hullabaloo to go around to promote a dope event. Some runoff from that would translate into people joining the supporter group, more people just there, because again, these tickets were public, and just really be in the know and interested into this. So again, I will say this once again: if you were not there, missed opportunity. You should have been there. As Esteban says, vibes, dope. Like,
I don't think
it was.
I don't think
so
Abe
cool.
and I will agree with you, because we got to see
the
best
100%.
game at Snapdragon.
I mean,
San Diego Wave.
Again, but if you're a San Diego FC supporter and you don't care about San Diego Wave, you could have had an opportunity here. It's still difficult, but you would have made it happen.
Like, if you somehow didn't include soccer on this Wednesday last week as a San Diego soccer fan, you missed out.
Yeah,
with either one or the other.
And so, look, again, the concept was great because you had Darren Smith hosting a Q&A. Fans wrote questions on a board. Very, very, ¿cómo se llama? team leadership meeting. Like, hey, we have this giant post-it. Let's vote your questions.
That's what that was for. Because I mean, we saw it at Snapdragon on the bottom floor, like chairs set up and like 3 chairs on the stage, and that's what it was to talk some fans as well. I believe that Jeremy was this for like season ticket member, VIP season tickets or something like that. But yeah, I mean, still like having Mikey talk with the fans and hearing them out, and and that's what you have to do.
And
that's what you have to do.
It's again a really cool opportunity. Fans got to meet Mikey, fans got to meet Tyler. These two are just the coolest of cool dudes that are involved in soccer. Like, I will say, man, like we're talking about it, and he's a busy man. He's currently traveling, and in the Right to Dream Academy, Tyler Heaps. He actually came up and was like I'll make it. I'm like, no, it's like, it's fine. Like, I know you will. You're kind of busy. You're gonna go to Ghana. You're gonna go to the Right to Dream Economy. You have to put up a team in February 25 to
I'd rather you do that first. And
just take care of that, because then
so we have more to talk about.
Yeah, no, 100%. There will be more to talk about coming up. Maybe not as exciting, but there are stuff that's being released. People are like just chomping at the bit for uniforms and kits and all that good stuff, and Adidas stuff. And I can say with certainty that, again, December is going to be a big week and month. Yeah, no, 12-hour shift still in here.
It's your birthday in December. It's a big month.
It's a big month. Just be ready those wallets, ready everything. And that's, again, a lot of the answers that were in the press conference were also in this Q&A. But then that's what's the next phase. That's the next phase. It's Mikey's assistants, this coaching team that's going to be assembled. Mikey gets to put this together as his team of Avengers.
Get Beto to be your equipment manager.
No, they did not. Actually, I saw who got hired. Congratulations for the equipment manager for SDFC. So congratulations. Like, it's nice to see that come across the LinkedIn. You need to get LinkedIn.
I do have LinkedIn.
Do you really?
Yeah.
For what?
My profile.
Okay. Just to have it. Just to have it.
Program coordinator.
But yeah, no, again, Tyler is Heaps is an absolute soccer maniac when it comes to spreadsheets. Like, it's insane. It's insane.
Soccer nerd.
But yeah, the team that's going to be managing alongside Mikey Varas, when Mikey Varas gets a red card, who's going to be taking over in those situations? That's all handpicked by Varas, and so that's really going to be the touch of how this team is going to be formed, right? You have the baseline of Right to Dream, the ideas that they want to have, and ultimately that's going to dictate how this team plays majority of the time. But you can put your flair, you could put your flavor. It seems like he marries a lot of both sides in terms of the American side of seeing soccer and coaching soccer to the South American. He's very, very in tune with the South American, Chilean, just love and passion for the game.
Yeah.
You saw those images of him hitting the drums, of just getting after it. And there was a piece today with his tattoos. And so cool. Great. Like, I'm always curious. And there's videos that I look back of like 2012 of like old managers doing that, or old players that were sold like the weeks after that video came out for like Chelsea or Man U. Like, oh, but it's gonna be interesting to see looking back over there. Jeremy, actually, our pal Jeremy, dear friend of the podcast, asked Mikey, who was there at the premium supporters ticket
event
Q&A, has he ever had a red card? A few yellows as well. Never a red though. So never coached in a senior level. Never got on a red card. So maybe a couple first for Mikey Varas in the upcoming 2025 season. Seems like an even tempered, very, very, very cool hang. White Walker eyes. I was frozen. Like,
that's why you forgot to say your name.
Probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, now I'm thinking about it. But yeah, so
that's what we have for San Diego FC. That's Mikey Varas is the head coach for San Diego FC, first ever head coach.
Yeah. And
whether you like it, hate it, love it,
what we're going to be doing.
the coach.
I did see Nightmare Azteca, actually. Nightmare Azteca was a luchador.
Nice.
That was in the video for SDFC, just standing. I was next to that as I was walking back to put more time in my meter. They don't accept coins anymore. It's only
After
Apple
6
Pay.
a.m. it's free.
Yeah, but the event was at 6. You need to get there earlier in order to make sure you have parking or circle around and get parking. And it's a 2-hour maximum, and my maximum was at 5:35.
Yeah,
so I was just kind of like,
gotten a ticket.
like who's checking at 5:35?
No, you would have gotten a ticket.
Who's checking at 5:35? So either way, assistant coach. But yeah, so that's the direction SDFC. What we're going to be doing as we get closer is taking a deep look inside these players. We're going to be doing player profiles on the people that are playing for SDFC in 2025. Catch everybody up on their seasons. Catch everybody up on their individual play styles. Everybody is kind of familiar with the Chukis.
Yeah.
Center back is a center back is a center back is a center back.
I believe is hurt right now.
Edving is hurt, so that's worst case scenario for SDFC right now. It's just him not getting those reps in and injured. It's not a long-term injury. There is just a short timetable for that, so nothing too concerning. But still, if you're SDFC and you see that alert from PSV Eindhoven, Chucky injured on the injury report, it's not the ideal situation that you want to find yourself in. So it's a good point to launch from here in terms of what's happening next for SDFC. Keep an eye on players in December. The expansion draft will be here. The draft will be here in San Diego. I think we broke that news a couple months ago. Just that more than likely, it seems right now, is happening here in San Diego. So that's when this team is going to be fleshed out. This is when that team is really going to be coming together. And at the end of the day, that's when it's going to really matter. But you really think about it, it's almost here. It's really, really almost here. So exciting times in San Diego for soccer. Keep that conversation going. People are very in tune with what they want. And that's the thing with soccer fans in San Diego, and anybody who's paid attention for a while will know, is that if there's something to pay attention to, soccer fans in San Diego will pay attention to it. Like, they will connect with it if it's worthwhile. Sometimes it doesn't resonate with every community. Sometimes it doesn't resonate with a lot of people. Sometimes it's just not their cup of tea in terms of soccer.
Yeah.
And they'll just go watch Premier League at Fair Play. 100 days left of the year. Like, we're at a crazy place. In terms of the time frame for this, Chrome Ball tours are still happening. There's at Del Mar, and again, that kind of excitement for that has kind of dwindled as well. But it's not necessarily reflective of anything bad. It's just a reflective of different things are happening across this institution. So it's go time. Chiva.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to look. The injury for Chuck Lozano, Avery Lozano will be unavailable for next period. Mexican dropped out of practice match against Genk with a muscle injury. Further examination, progress of recovery should reveal how long Chucky will be sidelined. This was a media post by PSV back in early September.
We're still kind of mid-September. Oh no, we're not.
Yeah, we're almost done with September.
Oh no, we are not. All right, so that's what we have here for this edition of SDFC, and just covering everything that is going to be coming down the pipeline for San Diego and their MLS team, respectively. As news does break, we'll be sure to be there to cover that. But for right now, just holding pattern, guys. Holding pattern. It's coming. It is coming. So SDFC here in San Diego forever. All right. With that, it's going to bring everybody's interesting part of the show segment. We bring back our friend, our pal, the
powerful,
the apotheosed.
What the fuck?
Abe Cepeda.
I don't think that's a word. That
Apotheosis.
No, the apotheos. You used it like as a verb.
Yeah, well, I can verbalize it.
That sounded weird. Anyways, my quick thoughts on Mikey Varas. He
Yes.
answered a question in Spanish, kind of about like the pressure that he feels, and he kind of said he feels pressure, but he also doesn't feel pressure because he has like the support of everyone there, and like the whole project and the whole system. And to me, that just means like he doesn't have like this isn't if this is an abject failure. Like say this team comes out and then just isn't good, doesn't really get close to the playoffs. You can't really blame the coach. This is all going to be on just the whole philosophy, the whole right to dream, everything. Like, that's who you're going to have to blame. So, Mikey Varas, if he fits their whole system, great. But if the system doesn't work itself, then I don't think he should be to blame. It should just be the whole system. So,
I love
Yeah.
the support that he
All
gets.
right,
I
Abe's
love the
back.
support that
Let's
he
fucking
gets.
go.
Yeah, no, 100%. Hey, what's up, Puma?
happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Ah,
Puma.
happy birthday, Puma.
Estas
Puma.
son las
So.
mañanitas que cantaba. You guys aren't gonna help me? Okay, no, I'll stop singing.
No,
No,
continue,
Keep going.
please.
No, it's okay. Happy birthday.
Muchachos
bonitos, se
Se
las
las
cantamos
cantamos
a
a
ti.
ti.
Despierta, Puma, despierta.
We are not going to
Mira
continue
Mira
this.
que
Okay.
amaneció,
Y a los
pajarillos
pajarillos
cantan,
cantan,
la luna
allá
ya
se
se
Look, man,
metió.
I summon
Yo.
Marauding Captain, which allows me to summon another Marauding Captain. I can stack them, and I can XYZ summon. Already my Stardust is there. Okay, cool. You did that. Guess what? Black Horn of Heaven. I can bring back from the graveyard.
Nobody can see your
Duh.
cards because we don't have that screen on, by the way.
Oh, well, there's
There's
been a very intense battle that's happened at this table for a while.
We're gonna move on with our segment of goals, gaffes, and greats. That was the best way I can cut off Tony. But we do have a goal of the week, and we were kind of kidding some comments saying, "Hey, look into college football."
Well, we have. All right. And it happened at Snapdragon Stadium, the place that we cover the most. Esteban again was there for this.
Don't quote me on this. The fastest goal in San Diego State's history.
I'm going to quote you, and I'm going to ask now.
I mean, I don't know if it is.
16 seconds is all it took for San Diego State to come up here at Snapdragon Stadium.
Putting it into the box, setting up Brummett. He finds the back of the net. Less than 20 seconds
Golazo de San Diego
in. The
State.
Aztecs off to a flying
Es
start
todo,
here at
vamos.
Snapdragon. They lead this thing 1-0.
I mean, 16 seconds is wild to score. I mean, Wave did it last week in 20 seconds, so it's not every day you get goal seconds into any match of soccer, so this rightfully deserves San Diego football's goal of the week. We should let them know.
Yeah, this is, we will let him know. Actually, Esteban, you know him, so let him know. Here, send him this.
Yeah.
Austin Brummett, number 10 for San Diego State. You have won San Diego Football's goal of the week. You're up there with Maria Sanchez, Joe Corona. That's a high profile. San Diego Football's goal of the week goes. No, but it's a really good
Primo de Guido.
play. Primo de
Sobrino,
Guido. Yeah,
sobrino.
Alejandro Guido's cousin. But yeah, 16 seconds in. It's a really good play on offense. Terrible defense, but to slide it in through that forest of legs.
UC Davis, you suck.
Well,
I think it ended up 2-2.
yeah, actually,
The
yeah.
finals.
Wow,
Yeah,
they're great. Keep it up.
they're equally as great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and major in farming, says nobody, unless you're from Sacramento and North. Sorry, it's just my SoCal bias. Anything above Fresno upsets me.
I got you.
Even below, like, what are we doing? One highway to get through all of this?
You drove through all that, so Never
Um,
been. We had a great of the week.
But
And-
fifth goal yesterday almost got me pregnant. Yikes. Talking about injuries, my Marcus Ter Stegen out 4 months. Shout out to him.
Yeah. So
Bakersfield is NorCal. I don't know if you're trying to defend or join us in here, but just mentioning Bakersfield and this
come on,
program
birthday boy.
is
Just
not
just
allowed.
enjoy the
Get
show.
that
birthday
city out of
boy.
your
Come on.
vocabulary.
Enjoy the show, birthday boy.
Disgusting.
Our grade of the
from
week
Delano.
is not only a player from San Diego Wave. But this week, on Wednesday, she scored a hat trick for San Diego Wave. We hadn't seen a hat trick since Alex Morgan's 4-goal performance in the first game ever for San Diego Wave, official game.
Mm-hmm.
This is that second hat trick in Waves history. Maria Sanchez on a comeback win on Wednesday wins our San Diego Punto Futbol's Great of the Week. I think you're going to share something.
I'm trying, but
Tony's 12-hour shifts, guys.
You kind of ruined Abe's vibe here because let me tell you something, brother.
If anything, I should win Great of the Week.
No,
predicting this and just saying, "Wow, Abe, look, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and pee, and when I come back, Wave's gonna be tied 2-2."
You know, we joked during that time too that you should tell her during the mix zone, but we kind of forgot about that. You should have told her, like, "Hey, I called it. I said you were gonna score."
What was I gonna say? Hey, Maria Sanchez, after you scored the first penalty, I told everyone in the press box, "Hey, like I'm gonna go pee, and when I come back, it's gonna be 2-2, and then they're gonna come back and win it all."
And just ask her. So, did you think after you scored that penalty, you're gonna score in the next 2 minutes?
No, she can be like, "You think you had anything to do with my great performance tonight?"
Yeah, because I predicted it.
The thing about this is that I actually, while at the supporter event, rally, non-supporter, public event, I texted both of you. I'm like, Great of the Week. So in hopes that one of you during the mix zone would be like, Maria Sanchez, you were just named San Diego Punto Futbol's player of the week. How do you feel? And then just continue the meme. But
I think only you can do that. I don't want that kind of shame.
Yeah, no, there was
I'm going back to messages on Wednesday, and you didn't send us that.
Ooh,
did you just give
liar?
Did you just put up receipts?
Yeah,
buddy?
you didn't.
Did we just do that?
You only sent us one message on Wednesday.
I'm about to look it up because I might have just texted you.
It might have been me. Let me check. Let me scroll up on my messages with you.
Maria Sanchez.
Tony Sanchez wins the L of the week.
Gaff of the week to Tony Sanchez.
Yes, go for it.
Do
play
us
back.
Prouds, boy, what a game.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Hey man,
It's great stuff. It's over. You home at 10:45 p.m. Like no shit, I'm home.
I don't know, man. Like we've been waiting a long time for these mix zones. Playback. Are we
Thursday,
able to
post match, boys? That's how Tony texts me.
Yeah, that is exactly.
And some messages that I cannot say in public.
Are we able to submit and share soccer clips for the segment? Correct. Yes, you are.
100%.
1000%. We will absolutely feature them. DM them. Send us to us. Maybe with a call out to your viewers. Playback project. This is my call out to you, and it can be like a cameo, like, oh, playback project. This is just for you. Thank you for submitting your request. I just want to thank you for taking the time and coming on and showing us this great clip for San Diego Futbol's goals, gaffes, and greats. No, 100%. Send it. Dude. Love it.
We'll take anything. We've done like youth games, Sunday league games. Wow. I think another great of the week. I saw Francisco's brother got a clean sheet in a 7-0 victory in his like kids game under 8. I think.
Shout out and Francisco very involved, and this is as much as we'll say with that Club Deportivo movie club and in his thoughts with goal. So keep it going. I highly recommend if you haven't seen Goal 1.
Watch it and then watch the episode.
2,
or watch along.
Yeah, like do that, and they're going to continue it. We're going to be on the next episode with the next movie. We can't say just yet, just whenever that gets released, so you can watch it and then you can watch us break it down. Yes, Abe.
I have a question. So, if I'm going to watch the podcast, so I don't know the movie, am I going to get the movie spoiled during the podcast? Like, should I watch the movie before I watch the podcast?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, but I don't know what the movie is. If I'm a fan of are we going to release?
They're going to release it before they drop the episode.
Okay, so like 2 weeks or a week before, look out, see what the movie is going to be. So we might know what the movie is. I've watched the movie before. It's a good movie. It's a good podcast. You guys should listen.
And I think they're going to take it. Drew and Cesar H. Futbol, Cesar Hernandez, the host of the Club Deportivo Movie Club, rating the actual players Because again, just thinking
Yeah.
of the spectrum of soccer movies, right? You think of the Big Green, think of like Air Bud, like individually, what would just factually, what would these players rank? So like a Santiago Muñez, what in real life translated like that performance in that movie translated into like a FIFA ranking system out of a 99 at his best in that movie, what would he have ranked compared to a Messi, a Ronaldo, a Zidane? Like is he, if Zidane is a 95?
I mean, he's a 21-year-old debuting for Newcastle United from the academy. The youngest player in Newcastle at the time. He would have a rating of about 73.
A 73.
Silver.
A 73.
He would be a silver card. Silver card for sure. Player coming from the academy. And then the following season, he would go up to like an 85,
Oh,
84, 83.
Coming up from the slums of Mexico, bro.
Los Americanos Jóvenes.
That's the name of
His Sunday league team.
Sunday league team. I mean, it's a really good movie. I put him a little bit more. CJ Fodry is on FIFA. Absolutely, I actually saw that. It's the list of people we know on
his
FIFA is
rating?
growing.
60s.
He's a bronze.
Esteban, is he a 60 something?
He is a.
Is he available in the expansion draft? Do you guys think
52.
he ends up in
That's
San
cool though.
Diego
He's in
FC?
FIFA.
He might be. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, no. Hey, he's a bronze player though. He's a rare bronze, I think.
That's cool though. Imagine you're in high school and then you're in college and then the next year you're like you can use yourself in FIFA or FC 25.
So what you're saying is Santiago Muñiz in the Premier League, if you're Newcastle,
He would be a
is
73, 74.
a 73, 74. Okay, that's fair. Hey, shout out CJ for having a FIFA EAFC card. But yeah, so that's something you can go ahead and just delve into. That's a new wrinkle of San Diego Punto Football that we have here.
And just to wrap it up, Tony Sanchez wins Calf of the Week for saying he texted us something that he didn't, Dave.
No, I think, look,
Mentiroso.
I think I will. I have a good kind of segment here for Gaff. Let's see, he could be. I can see and chatting with him. Like he likes Austin. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that coming back. Miguel Berry, Josh Yarrow. But we're going to see familiar faces, and that's what I wanted to have a talk with selfishly with Coke Vegas about in Orange County. Like, hey, Coke, you're a goalkeeper that's good with your feet. I know a team that's looking for a goalkeeper that's good with their feet. Good for San Diego. He played in La Liga. He likes the United States.
Loves San Diego.
Yeah.
I'm sure he misses his favorite coffee shop in downtown.
Yes, there was a Santi Munoz. It just did not pan out well. For Gaff, I just want to shout out my weekend of exploring through the sickness, the plague that is
Oh my gosh.
AI. It's absolutely incredible what's possible.
Wow.
Um,
Anime Abe.
So
wild.
I inputted some images into where'd it go?
It didn't.
It didn't go. I inputted some images into AI into like, hey, do this. Yeah, Koke would be a second string, just like Josh Yaro. Still hoping for Keylor Navas. That'd be a really good signing. There are discussions that have actively happened there. But yeah, so we see this interpretation of we have Anime Abe, and I didn't show you guys this, but this is now an animation intro. Abe does that. You do that, Abe. This is apparently AI's anime interpretation of what the show is.
Konnichiwa.
Arigato
gozaimasu.
I'm
I'm going to Japan soon, actually.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm going to be vacationing in Japan. Not so much vacationing. Maybe find some work.
Make
If
sure
I
you
find a
put in
job out
your
there, I'll
PTO
maybe
request
I'm not
for
going
us.
back. What?
Make sure you submit your PTO request to us first.
PTO?
that
You
hasn't
mean
gotten approved.
TO? What's the P stand for? Like, come on.
Hell yeah,
Alright.
babe. What are your thoughts on AI?
It's not pay time off, it's part time off.
Low res, Chiva, and Tony.
Is
I
that
showed
like that's the GTA version, right?
Yeah, that's the GTA version. Let me just tell you though that I showed this to my girlfriend and she said, "Who the fuck is that on the right?" Like,
That's you,
why did
Flacucho.
no? Like, why did they? What did she say? Like,
They lined up your beard so nicely.
they lined it up, and a friend I showed this to was like, that looks like Roman Reigns, and I said,
Tony looks like a
"Thank you."
Viking.
Yes, Abe.
No, I was just acknowledging.
Oh, you were just acknowledging. I. So then that
I
also
thought you were
had.
saying, "What's up, brother?"
Yeah, me too. The offshoot of this blah, blah, blah. That's literally how this show is. That's how why not? And I think I think that's enough AI for us
That is
for
enough
a
of
weekend.
Everything. I mean, whew, Tony. I mean, we said we're gonna do an hour long podcast today because we're tired. And we pulled
You're
off almost
shackled
2
here.
hours.
You're shackled here. You have no choice.
I don't. You're my ride.
because I am a ride.
Yeah, Abe, you're right.
I arrived. Your food was delivered at 6:40, and then it didn't get there.
No, it got
And
delivered
then-
at 6:55.
And then you were
you
like,
picked me up at
"Oh,
6:40.
man, I hope I can pick you up at 6:40. Still haven't eaten. Your food's waiting for you."
Yeah, it is.
19 subscribers to 1,000 on YouTube. That's the big push right now. We never really pushed anything like that, but
yeah, no, I mean,
hey, it's a big
get us
ask.
there. Get us there.
Abe Cepeda, you can find everything that he does in writing, Best Writer, Soccer in San Diego, editor-in-chief of San Diego.Football over at San Diego.Football. Season's greetings, giving us the good old
Your
heart
PTO
there.
has been approved.
Absolutely approved. That's a Bo Nix lover right there. That's a what's the way Justin Herbert truther. Go Ducks, I guess. Chiva, find you wherever. The O is present. Season's greetings to everybody who has joined us here. Have a good night, guys. Esteban, keep rocking in the free world, and doo.
Bye, everyone.